Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you're all well today. Okay, so as you can see today, we're going to be talking about Star Wars, the original trilogy. Now, I've just watched all three films, watched the third one, Return of the Jedi, this afternoon, so I thought I'm going to make a video and talk to you guys and get some feedback, because obviously very late to the party on this one, but I finally got around to watching the original trilogy. Now, a little bit of backstory. In my household, I grew up in the 80s. I was born in 1977 when A New Hope was first released. And during the 80s and the 90s, my dad was a massive sci-fi fan, and so I watched a lot of sci-fi films, a lot of TV shows, and I became a big sci-fi fan through my dad's TV watching, basically. And he was a massive Star Trek fan. He didn't like Star Wars at all, so I never got to see the Star Wars films growing up. So I have absolutely no nostalgic connection, unfortunately, to them. And so I've always been a massive Trekkie, and especially Next Generation, love it to bits. So as I got older, I would see, Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi on TV, but I'd never got to watch the films. I never sat down and actually watched them from beginning to end. It was always a case of just seeing little clips here and there, like the Endor, where they're on the hover bikes in Jedi. I'd seen that once, and it just never really clicked for me. I always thought the aliens looked a bit silly, and I just felt like the films weren't really for me. They weren't grounded like Star Trek, so I've never watched them all the way through. And as I say, because I have no nostalgia, it really didn't bother me. But of course, this week, as we all know, Star Trek Episode 7, The Force Awakens, has just come out in the cinemas, getting some fantastic reviews from people online, and all my friends on Twitter are saying how great it is, all the ones that have seen it. So yeah, I'm very excited to go and see that next week, hopefully. But I thought, you know what, I need to watch the original trilogy. I've watched Phantom Menace. It's the only film I've ever watched all the way through in the Star Wars series, and it was shite. Except for Darth Maul, which was great, but the rest of the film's crap. So I never watched Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. I want to watch them now, but I just don't know if I can sit through them or not. That's mainly because of Rogue One that's coming out. It makes me want to, because Rogue One fits in between 3 and 4, so it makes me want to watch it, but I just don't think I can watch the prequels. So I just thought, you know what, even though JJ's made Episode 7 in the way that he did Star Trek, in terms of it will have loads of content for all the fans, it'll be loads of fan service, but it'll also be a film where someone like myself who knows nothing of Star Wars can just sit down and enjoy a great film. But I wanted to go back and watch the original trilogy just to get some backstory, just trying to understand the characters a little more, and especially with like Han Solo, Luke, and Leia coming back, and Chewie as well coming back in a new film. I wanted to make sure I had some kind of context with these characters. So I thought I'm going to sit down and I'm going to force myself to watch these films, whether I like them or not. So I started, of course, with Episode 4, A New Hope, and I watched that on Thursday night, I believe it was. Now, I was really not sure what to expect, and the first part of the film, I'll be honest, when you start the film and you've got the two droids, they get sold to Luke's father. Luke finds out that R2-D2 has got a holographic message from Princess Leia, and it needs to be delivered to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, he knows a bloke called Ben Kenobi, who he's got a suspicion might be the right one, and he goes hunting for Ben Kenobi with the two droids. Now, at this point, I'm sitting there thinking, I don't know if I can get through this film. It's just not clicking with me at all. Mark Hamill's very hammy. I'm not too sure about Obi-Wan, not too sure about R2-D2 or C-3PO. Am I going to suffer these two? Then the film got lifted. They get attacked in the sand by the Sand People, and in the desert, should I say, by the Sand People. And for me, that was when the film really changed and turned a corner, because then you get Sir Alec Guinness turns up as Obi-Wan Kenobi. He was a revelation. For me, he really completely lifted the whole tone of the film. He brings such a gravitas, such a theatrical presence to the film, and it was like old cinema style. He's a proper lovey, and I love that because I thought he was fantastic. Obi-Wan was without doubt my favourite character throughout the trilogy. I just love every scene that he was in. He did such a great job. So that really lifted the film and really drew me in, and before I knew it, the film was over. It was so quick. I was completely sucked in, didn't look at the clock once, which is always a good sign when I'm watching a film. I absolutely loved it. I was really surprised how much I enjoyed the first film. And it was the only criticism I had really was that Mark Hamill was a bit hammy. Harrison Ford wasn't particularly brilliant as an actor. He was good, but you could see it was one of his early performances, but he did alright. I thought Carrie Fisher was fantastic, and to be honest, throughout the trilogy, she was really one of the shining lights. I thought she was a fantastic actress and incredibly hot. Had I been seeing these films in the 80s when they were around, I would have fancied the arse off Carrie Fisher because she was stunning. Really liked Chewie. I started by the end of A New Hope to like C-3PO. Wasn't keen on R2-D2. I found him a little bit irritating. And yeah, I just really felt that the film was too quick. It felt like there was lacking a bit of content, and that's maybe, I don't know, maybe it was, or maybe it's just because the film was so over so quickly that it felt that way. But it just felt to me as if, you know, you've got the beginning of the film, you've got Luke. We don't really know much about Luke. His father buys the droids, he sees the message on R2-D2. Princess Leia's like, I need to see Ben Kenobi, I've got a message for him. He goes to his uncle, you know this bloke called Ben Kenobi? Oh yeah, he's dead, which of course he isn't. He decides to go on a mission, gets trapped in the sand. Obi-Wan Kenobi saves him, C-3PO and R2-D2. They go to a bar with some ridiculous aliens playing music, which I didn't like. The bar scenes in these films just were the only thing that really pissed me off because the aliens were crap. I thought they were so childish, but I suppose it was aimed at kids as well, so you can let that go. But anyway, they meet Han Solo and Chewie. They give them some cash. They jump on the Millennium Falcon. They go off. They get to the Death Star. They hide in the bottom underneath the floor of the Millennium Falcon while it's being checked over by the Stormtroopers and Vader. Obviously they don't get found. They come up, knock out a couple of Stormtroopers, nick the uniforms, huddle in the room, and they're like, right lads, what are we going to do? R2-D2 hooks himself into the computer and goes, oh, by the way, Princess Leia's on the ship. Well, that's a bit convenient. Now, prior to this, they were following a TIE fighter, which they didn't understand why it was so far out in space, and they thought they were going toward the moon, but it wasn't. It was the Death Star, and it got a tractor beam and it pulls them in. I forgot that bit. So anyway, they rescue Princess Leia, they get off the ship. Obi-Wan Kenobi cops it because he has a fight with Darth Vader and just releases himself and Vader takes him down. Then they fly off and of course Princess Leia's like, hang on a minute, that was a bit easy. I think we're being tracked, which, you know, clearly they are. And then they have the big battle, which was just epic, where they take down the Death Star, and you've got that classic moment from Rogue Squadron on the GameCube where Luke goes down through the trench and just blows it to shit. I love that, it just looks so cool. But yeah, it just felt like there wasn't a whole lot there, really. It was all, I mean, now I'm explaining it sounds like a lot more, but at the time it felt like there wasn't a lot to the film. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, I thought it was fantastic. You know, the only real criticisms, as I say, was Mark Hamill's acting, Harrison Ford was a bit, and R2-D2 was a little annoying, and the aliens playing the music in the pub. That was it really, so there's nothing major. Thoroughly enjoyed The New Hope, great film. So then on Friday night, I decided to sit down and watch Empire Strikes Back. What a sequel. Man, Empire Strikes Back is fantastic. And I'll just say right now, Empire is my favourite of the trilogy. I love that film, it was great. The battle on Hoth at the beginning is just visually arresting. I mean, it just works so well from a cinematic standpoint. The snow looks great. I believe they were called Tauntauns, I think that's the right name. Those llama things they're riding around on, I love them, they look great. The outfits look great. I thought the battle on Hoth was just epic because it took me back to Shadows of the Empire on the N64, and yeah, it just looks so bloody good. It's so brilliant the way they did that. And yeah, after that, the film just got better and better. I felt the one thing that I did find with Empire was I really started to like C-3PO. I found that the comedy worked really well with him. It was really funny, really likeable character. By the end, I just loved him. I thought he was brilliant. There's a fantastic scene as well when they go to meet Lando, and it's a trap, and Vader's there with Stormtroopers and everything. And as they're going down this corridor before they find out it's a trap, this door opens up and C-3PO walks in and he's like, what are you doing here? And then he just gets blasted into pieces. I was like, whoa, a bit harsh. And I thought, well, are they going to come back from that one? But of course, later on, Chewie just gathers up all the parts and they just put him back together. And it's really funny because Chewie's putting him back together and you've got this really great moment where he's got C-3PO and he's putting him on the wrong way around and C-3PO's having a go at him. And then he's like, Christ, I'm blind, like, and all this. It was absolutely brilliant. I really loved that. And I thought Chewie was fantastic. You know, for what he does in the films, he's just such a likeable character. I really like Lando as well. I think he's a great character as well. At least he redeemed himself in the end. And the interesting thing for me was the fact that obviously Star Wars New Hope came out in 77. You've got Empire coming out in 80, and then 3 years later you've got Jedi in 83. And what they do to Han Solo in Empire, I can't remember what the material is that he gets sunken into, and he's like frozen like that. And obviously then you introduce the bounty hunters as well, and Boba Fett, I believe it's Boba Fett anyway, he takes him off because he's got to go back to Jabba the Hutt because he owes him a debt. And I felt like, God, that was the pissed off the fans so much in 1980 when they come out of the cinema and they got to wait 3 years to find out what happens to Han Solo. I'd have been gutted. So yeah, I really enjoyed Empire. I thought it was a fantastic film, easily the best of the three, more because it was more a consistent film as well. There wasn't a lot of use of childish childish aliens and silly humour, which I felt like in the next film, Return of the Jedi, there was a fair bit of. But I thoroughly enjoyed Empire. Absolutely cracking sequel and brilliant film. I can't wait to watch all these films multiple times now. So then, of course, today I've sat down on Sunday afternoon and I decided to watch Return of the Jedi. And I've got to say, another great film. The only thing I'll say I didn't like was the aliens again. When the whole scene at the beginning with Jabba the Hutt was the main thing I didn't like about the film. Because you're in this bar and you've got these ridiculous aliens, like one's a blue elephant. I'm sitting there thinking, what the hell is going on? And I was just waiting for it to be over because I thought if this carries on, I'm not going to be able to sit through this film. I can't stick with it. The one, obviously, saving grace of the whole debacle with Jabba the Hutt is, of course, Princess Leia, the slave Leia. One of the hottest things I've ever seen in my life on film. It's just incredible. Yeah, she's beautiful. She looks absolutely stunning in that outfit. But the thing that really lifted that at the beginning was Luke. I thought Mark Hamill raised his game considerably in this film. He was so much better in this one. And I love that black outfit and the green lightsaber. He just looks like a total badass. Fantastic, except for the fact that he fell for the most obvious thing that everyone falls for in movies, where he's standing over a trapdoor and C-3PO's going, "Look, there's a trapdoor, you twat." And then he just gets dropped down the hole. But yeah, it's brilliant. I love the fact that when they get captured and him and Han Solo gets brought back to life, you got Han, Leia, you got Luke, you got Chewie, and they're on that transport, and then you've got C-3PO and R2-D2 are actually being used as just as they're just doing jobs, basically, just being normal droids and just serving drinks R2-D2 in. And I love the fact that when they get to that one point, I think it's the Sarlacc pit, correct me if I'm wrong, that big monster that's at the bottom, they're going to throw Han Solo in and kill him. And there's just a really awesome shot and a great moment where Luke's on the ledge like a pirate gangplank, and he just drops down, grabs the ledge, and you see R2-D2. He looks at R2-D2 and R2-D2 fires Luke's lightsaber at him. He jumps up, grabs the lightsaber, the camera zooms in and pans on him, and you got these wicked shots. He just grabs the lightsaber, goes, and it's just like, oh hell yes, it's on. I mean, that was just one of the coolest things I've seen. It's absolutely brilliant. Then they just kick the shit out of everyone. It's brilliant. And yeah, they did redeem themselves, for me at least, with the aliens, because when they go to Endor, you have this bipedal fish-looking thing. I don't know, I can't remember what he was called now. Admiral something, I think it was. He was explaining the mission and what they were going to do with the new Death Star, and they were going to take it down, and they got to get Endor. He was really cool. I liked him. Good character. Endor was again like Hoth, visually stunning. I thought it looked absolutely brilliant. Those hover bikes, I don't know what they're called, but they're just awesome. I thought they were so cool. They land speeders by some chance. I've got a feeling I've heard that somewhere. Those are fantastic. I absolutely adore the Ewoks. I think the Ewoks are just some of the coolest things. They could have easily been irritating, you know, because they are kind of the childish characters for kids, but I loved them. I thought they were really funny, really brilliant. I love that moment when you suddenly realise they think that C-3PO is a god. That was so cool. Yeah, absolutely love Endor. I love when they get to the base and they get captured, and then it all just kicks off basically. They realise it's a trap. You've got the space battle going on, you've got Luke and Vader and the Emperor, you've got Han Solo, Leia, Chewie, C-3PO, R2-D2, and all of the Ewoks just battling the stormtroopers, and there's, I don't know what they're called, but those bipedal machines that are running around and blasting the shit out. Oh, it's just absolutely spectacular. It was so well shot and it just looks awesome. And I love it, like, when obviously when the Ewoks are trying to take down the machines and they eventually manage to get on one and they get through the roof, take the two blokes out, and Chewie jumps in and grabs the controls, up, blasting the crap out of everything. It was just superb. Yeah, really, really fantastic. And I say in HD, I thought they looked really good, man. Their outfits now, especially on Endor when they got the green military outfits, they look fantastic. Yeah, excellent. As I say, Mark Hamill again really raised his game. I felt he did a fantastic job as Luke in this film. I love the end bit when the Emperor's trying to get him to go to the dark side, and he just gets his lightsaber and he has this fight with Darth Vader. And then eventually, you know, he's constantly saying to Vader, look, there's still some good in you. You're not completely turned to the dark side yet. And then you get to that moment where Luke's just being tortured by the Emperor with electricity, and Vader just goes, no, and just grabs him and goes, poof, just throws him down the pit. And it's like, hell yeah, nice one, Vader. I thought that was just absolutely awesome. And I like the fact that as well, like in the first film, Vader takes Luke's hand, and then in this film, in Jedi, Luke takes Vader's hand, and then they have that emotional moment at the end when he pulls his mask off. And I thought, yeah, that was a really great way to end the film. Fantastic. Love Jedi. I thought Jedi was superb. I'd be interested to see what everybody else thinks is the best film, because I could see it being a tough competition between Jedi and Empire. I think Empire steals it without doubt, mainly because of that whole Jabba the Hutt bollocks at the beginning of Jedi. If it hadn't got that in there, admittedly, you've got to sort of get Slave Leia in there somewhere because that outfit's incredible. But yeah, if it wasn't for that section of the film, Jedi would be really tough to choose between the two because they're such solid films. Yeah, I can tell. I mean, I've only seen Phantom Menace in terms of prequels, so I totally understand now why people think those prequels are shite. Because just watching that one film with Jar Jar, it's not even, and Liam Neeson as well, it's not even close to being a patch on the original trilogy. So I'm excited. I'm hopefully going to go and see Episode 7, Force Awakens this week, just before Christmas. I'm hearing nothing but good things about it, and a lot of good things from people who absolutely adore the franchise and live for Star Wars. So fingers crossed, it is going to be absolutely brilliant and it is going to live up to expectations. It's JJ Abrams, so I have a lot of faith. The man's done a lot of good stuff so far, both in TV and film, and I'm excited to see it. So yeah, I'll wait and see. If you want to hear my thoughts on that, guys, I don't know if you will because there's so many videos coming out about Force Awakens. Let me know in the comments, and then if I've got time before Christmas, I'll put a video about that as well, and I'll do a little sort of impressions mini review kind of video. So thank you for watching, guys, as always, really do appreciate it, and thank you very much for everyone who watched my previous video because the views on that have gone crazy and I did not expect that. Really had a great response to that. Thank you very much, guys, really appreciate it. Let me know down below all your thoughts on my my impressions of these 3 films, and let me know what you felt when you first watched the Star Wars movies as well. I want to know if what I'm like, especially the critiques that from the things that I didn't like about the film. Did any of you guys feel the same way? Are there any things that I liked, such as the Ewoks maybe, because I'm sure there are people that don't like the Ewoks. Is there anyone out there that doesn't like the Ewoks, doesn't like things that I like? Let me know what you thought of the film. I'll be fascinated to know your thoughts. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. As always, really do appreciate it. Hope you all have a great Christmas, and I'll see you in the next video.